Wait, 30 minutes.
It makes me think of high intensity interval workout.
Yeah, so we're live. Okay, we're live.
All right.
Wait, there was something I was going to say about, 30 minutes, summer, shorter episodes. Oh, I was going to mention about, I don't know if you noticed, but I might save this for the podcast, but I rechanged my numbering thing. The way, instead of doing seasons.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk about it in the podcast, but I had a funny conversation with Billy, and he's like, well, why are you doing seasons? Just do episode numbers, and then you don't have to worry about it. And I was like, yeah, why am I doing seasons?
Because it makes me think of TV. I'm trying to think. I've got nothing going on. What I have happening for the intro chit chat? It's the whole summer thing.
Intro check, yes. Well, and this is pre-FIP. I'm all FIP blogging, so I'm all conference planning, wycwyc, and I can touch on the whole, because I really have been doing a good job of managing my stress. So I can talk about that a little bit. And
and I have another idea too.
Okay. So I think I brought in last week. So you'll bring in this week,
and it is 22.
It's 20. And we have nothing. We have nothing. No articles, no nothing. I have to keep open is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. No, okay, I'm ready.
Okay, and you're gonna bring in. Okay, I'm good. Go.
Welcome to wycwyc podcast episode 22.
Drum roll.
And I can't stop myself. I had a moment of thinking, just as I was saying, welcome to wycwyc. I'm not going to say this, but I can't stop myself. So, have you seen, I know this is like the movie backdrop podcast. Do you like Albert Brooks?
I do like Albert Brooks.
Have you seen that movie? I am now, 46 next month, blanking on the title of the movie, where they talk about, you used the phrase when we were in our pre phone call about nest egg. It's the first time I heard the phrase nest egg, and the woman, oh my gosh, we're going to need to Google. Sorry, people.
I'm going to have to Google. I'll Google what you're talking about.
22, come on, 22. And they take their family nest egg. They have this nest egg. I think he gets fired. So Albert Brooks and his wife hit the road in this RV. They've got this great nest egg. We're set. One of their first stops is in, I'm going to say Reno. It probably was Vegas. But the wife loses the nest egg at roulette. So there's a scene where, and of course, this is a family joke all the time, losing the nest egg and the 22, come on, 22. You see her begging for that, and she loses the nest egg. And that's all she can mutter for a bunch of scenes in the movie.
I lost the nest egg.
I lost the family nest egg. So it's Albert Brooks. But now, because I'm a 5-year-old, I can't hear the number 22 without saying 22, come on, 22.
That is so funny. Do you find, and I kind of want readers even to chime in, or listeners to chime in on this. I find that the older I get, I have so much pop culture references that almost anything anyone says to me triggers a song lyric, a movie quote, a TV show. Yes. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like I cannot help myself. Every time Ryan says, I go, I like big butts. And
thank you. And you know what's terrifying is I just Googled this. The movie is super good movie, but 1985's own Lost in America.
I'm looking at. That's what I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh my gosh,
I think hilarious. I was a little too young.
It's got to be super dated. It was dated when I saw it, because I think I saw it in like 97.
Yeah, because I was
super
only
dated then.
I was 9 when that movie came out. So
yes, and it was bad when I saw it, but it's that family nest egg.
When you said Albert Brooks, though, I immediately thought of Defending Your Life. I think that's the one where he dies and has to go, and there's like all the past lives, and he was just like always this coward. Oh my God, that movie I've seen.
I was like, not love. All my friends loved.
I really that was the movie I think that for me introduced me to Albert Brooks, and. Yeah.
Mother. Mother was my favorite. And I kind of got the fact that it might not be my favorite when I'm a mother, because my own mother, back when it came out, wouldn't watch it, did not find it funny in the slightest. And I watched it and laughed until I cried. So I need to watch it again. But I think it's like making fun of which I'm going to be in 10 years, the mother who hoards everything. And but Albert Brooks and Mother. So welcome to episode 20.
Welcome to episode. I feel and I feel like we just lost like half of our listeners, because most of them probably don't even know who Albert Brooks is.
You're right.
And we've
He hasn't done anything recently.
He hasn't done it, and we've established that we're old, so no one under the age of 35 will listen to us now.
Oh no, you need to start shouting, "Orange is the new black! Orange is the new black!"
Which I'm on episode 2 of season 4. I'm up to date, and I'm watching an episode every few days. I'm taking it slow. I'm not using the B word, binging on Orange is the new black episode.
I have fought that one. I am super into social media because I'm extraordinarily young and hip. And when Piper, the woman who wrote the book, when her book came out, I'm going to say this, even though I could offend Piper, the book came out. I love memoirs. So I think I bought it that day, devoured it that day and night, and tweeted her the next day and said, I love you. I love the book. I'm recommending it to all my friends. So fantastic. And her Twitter response, I can't remember now, it was years ago, but just was very much, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good. I'm fine. And this was before she was famous.
Wow, really?
I wouldn't do Orange is the New Black. Now I'm caving. So I'm going to watch the first season.
Well, and I think only the first season is based on the book. I think
that's what people said. So what's the second season?
It has just turned into typical like drama, soap opera-esque storyline. Yeah. Okay. So except it's in the prison, and to me,
so it's fiction. Like there was the first season all nonfiction.
No, actually, I think I read a few articles about what was fiction and what not. I think they, of course, took liberties to make it much more interesting for the screen, like they always do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When they make our movie, it'll be very interesting. I'm going to be played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I hope.
Yes. I don't know who I want to. I wanted Charlize Theron to play me.
Oh, that's a good one.
What was I going to say though? Oh, but the thing I love about Orange and the New Black is the characters are just so interesting, and they do have depth. They're but my husband and I joke every time, like when they did the first and second seasons where you're introducing to the characters and then why they're in jail and all that. It's kind of like you're watching the show and you're going, well, this group of women, that every single backstory, it's like the woman wasn't evil or mean, or it was like a misunderstanding that got them into jail. And it's kind of like eye rolling. You're like, okay, really? So every female that's in jail, they're really good people, but something bad happened to them. So it's a little, but I enjoy it. But the characters have so much.
But I wonder how real that is. I mean, it seems like
maybe
it is a lot of TV, and it always seems like they do the prisoners saying, I'm innocent. And they're like, yeah, everybody's innocent in jail.
Yes. Well, I think for me, the show is more like they're guilty, but the circumstances that caused their guilt was very
out of there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, which is probably true in a lot of cases, but I feel like it's very fictionalized. Like it just feels to me, the whole show feels really fictionalized, even though I know it's based on a true story, the first season. So, but
I'm ready. We need to talk about what you're getting ready for, because the reason I downloaded the first season is I was thinking on the flight to Denver for the Fit Blogging Conference, I can watch some of those, because I've gotten my child, who's coming with me, hopelessly addicted to this trashy TV show, Once Upon a Time,
the series Once Upon a Time. I love the first season. The first season of Once Upon a Time, loved. And then I watched, I think, 2 episodes of the second season, and I was out.
So I figured she'll watch that on the plane, please. And then I'm doing Orange is the New Black as we go to Denver for
Fit Blogging, which is, when this airs, tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah, I'm very much in that sighing induced stage where I just go, tomorrow.
Now, do you feel like I feel sometimes about big events in my life? Okay, so I can't even imagine, let's say it really is when this is released. This time next week, it'll all be done. That blows my mind. Do you ever think like that?
All the time. I think about that with everything. I'm very much an early planner. So I'm looking at a vacation I plan in August thinking, oh, it's almost here and then it'll be gone. Like already, like accelerate time that way. But I can't wait to be on set. Like when you organize something this large, and it's not even that large compared to something like Blog Her or Comic-Con or some other conference that's like thousands and thousands of people. I mean, this is just a few hundred, but it's like planning your wedding. I don't know, did you have a big wedding?
No, we eloped.
See, I had a wedding, and that was my first experience in event planning. And that's when I realized I probably kind of have a knack at this because
oh my gosh. See, I would have realized the opposite. We did it spontaneously in sweatshirts and running tights.
I enjoyed the planning aspect. And I remember my event coordinator on the hotel side, she was like, this is the easiest wedding I've ever had to plan.
Really?
I came with like a spreadsheet of like all the thing and like where I had like the seating arrangements and the contacts for my, DJ. And I just was very buttoned up with it doesn't even seem like work to me. It's just like, oh, I want to make this happen and I want to have a good time.
You need to launch an event planning business and call it Buttoned Up. That would be, that's your next career. That's a good name.
Yes, Buttoned Up. So I'm the same way with fit blogging. So for me, I look at fit blogging like it's like I'm planning my wedding, but it's a 3-day wedding. And there's 200 people coming and, I have food choices and the flow of the events and the exhibitors and the sponsors. And it's a lot of work beforehand, but then when I just want to get on site because then it's like you kind of just flick that first domino and then it just happens.
It's that, I don't know if you know that I have a book that just came out, but there's some information in there talking about begetting. So once you start, it is that domino thing.
It's a momentum
You don't
thing.
seem stressed.
I don't. And actually, I find it really complimentary, honestly, because I'm trying to be better at accepting compliments. When people come up to me during the conference and they say, I can't believe you're smiling and you look so relaxed. And I'm like, well, that's because the last 3 months I was like pulling my hair out so I can enjoy the time right now.
Well, and I think that's why you would be great at it. Like I would be an ideal wedding client, although maybe not, because I would be like, I don't care. Any kind of music, whatever, don't care. But I think a lot of event planners, conferences, I don't know about big, like say like Austin City Limits, but just the more medium size are stressed the entire time. I think they look frazzled because I've been to some and I'm like, wow, this is not fun for them.
No. And I think this is where my, I'll call myself type A-ish comes in. Like I'm a little type A. I like to handle things myself, but I also am very good at letting things go. And I'm a fire putter outer. I enjoy responding to I loosely call them emergencies, but problems that happen. Yeah. I do what I can up front to be preemptive to stop things from happening.
You do what? I'm sorry.
Did I cut out?
No, you do what?
Did I use a word? I make up my own words all the time.
You said I do what I can when I can.
Oh, I did, didn't I? See,
book shout out.
Book shout out. What was I going to say? Oh, but I'm very preemptive. Like I try to be very proactive, make everything so it goes smooth. But I'm also very aware that nothing ever goes as planned.
It's that you don't seem, so you're not shocked.
No, I'm not shocked. It's almost like every year there's about 2 or 3 mini catastrophes, like a sponsor can't find their booth stuff or a speaker didn't show up and I kind of pride myself on having like a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Like I was like, well, I'll just ask and you were the recipient of this one year. Remember we had a problem. I think it was last year we were in Baltimore and I had a speaker thing not happen. And I was just like, Cara, you're on deck. Get up there.
And that reminded me of, I'm kind of in life flux and doing that. Like I am a phenomenal writer in my rough draft. So you need something from me in an hour, mine is the best. If you give 6 of us a day, they have time to edit and mine is not the best. I'm an awesome clarinet player at sight reading. I will kick everyone's ass. But if we have a day to practice, I come in last. So that was probably my best presentation ever because I'm so good at that off the cuff. Practicing, I would come in last. And it's so good to know what you're good at.
I think you're right. And I think I'm very similar. If I prepare too much, it backfires. I'm actually which is probably why I'm okay with the catastrophes happening. Well, and the conference too, because you can't really, it's like having a baby. You really can't prepare. In your mind, you can think, okay, well, if this happens, I'll do that. And if that happens, I'll do this. But then you also have to have this open mind of, well, there's really no way to predict it. So anything can happen. And
it's your gift to respond well. I think if I put on a conference, I would rock at the responding well. But if somebody else put on a conference the same weekend, theirs would probably be better because it would be uber polished.
Yeah.
But it's that your skills which kind of dovetails into what I wanted to talk about today. a little bit the notion of perfection, but this has been driving me crazy. And I had a mini like rant about it a few weeks ago on Facebook. And what's like when you notice something somewhere, you start to notice it everywhere.
Right.
And I've been noticing everything now is being taken to the next level. It seems like we're proud of ourselves because we don't do perfection anymore. And so I wanted to talk about with you, does this not feel like the same thing? It's like, yes, I'm happy with this level. I do not want to take it to the next level. I don't want to take my workouts to the next level, my diet, my parenting. I don't want to take it to the next level as a new perfection for me.
It's funny. I think when you first posted it, I'm like, I get it. And then I don't get it. And then I get it again. And then I don't get it. So yes. I think it's because for me, this is going to be one of those, like, we're going to try to express and get people. And
this is why the book works, because in some areas, yes, I'm being a little hyperbolic. Do I want to take it to the next level? Sometimes in my parenting with how I respond to my child, sure. But it's people looking for an excuse will always find one, like you say. So I do say, yeah, I'm not interested in the next level, but I do it sometimes. But it feels like that's how we're making other people feel less than. I see blog posts that say, take your resistance training to the next level. Yeah, and I don't think, I want that level. I think, oh my gosh, I'm barely maintaining the level I have, people.
I agree. I think, well, and again, it's I think there's a balance, because I feel like when you're achieving something, there are so I'll use my running history. Like I ran a 5K and then I ran a 10K, then I ran a half. And then, so I was kind of keeping up with the new level, but I define the levels as challenges in distance, whereas someone else would say the levels in speed. I am happy with my speed level. I have zero desire to get faster.
And maybe it is just our tagline. If there's some way to define because our book is What You Can, When You Can, healthy living on your terms. Maybe that's what it's missing for me. It's take it to the next level, whatever it is. But like man, it makes me, as defined by you, but it's making me nuts. Just the vast proliferation of next levels everywhere. And I think we women have gotten caught up in the no perfection. And I think that this has become the new perfection for me in so many arenas.
I think it is. And I used to have a friend and we used to talk about this and our inability to ever be satisfied, which I think is a little bit of a female thing, right? It's always, I'm going to graduate school and then I'm going to get a job and then I'm going to get a promotion and then I'm going to get married and then I'm going to have kids. And there's always like, you're constantly looking ahead and never appreciating the point in which you're on now, which is kind of what you're saying.
Oh, that's a great point. I hadn't thought about that. It is that you're right. It's if we're focused on the next level, we're not present in this.
Yes, we're not present in our current level, which I think is something I think most people struggle, like most people who are achievers struggle with. Like they've never find that level of satisfaction where they're just like, looking around themselves and going, oh, I got a pretty good job. I like my house. Like they just kind of just go, instead of like, I know for me, I fight this internal desire to get to the next level all the time. Like, well, what's next? So
maybe the flip side is celebrate the level where you are. Celebrate this level.
Yeah, I think it's another kind of concept of being conscious of enjoying. Well, and it's kind of like what we talked about with the process. Like if you're constantly looking at achieving another level, you're never really, really able to enjoy the process to get to that level, which is what we talked about last week. That's kind of the point, is enjoying the process, which would be enjoying the level you're on now instead of constant. I don't know, but then I see this flip side. Of if you are constantly satisfied with your level, then you never better yourself, or you never have the drive to better yourself.
Between satisfied and complacency, I think that's it.
Yeah.
And because I learned that from you with it really does tie into the book. What's the one criticism you could ever imagine? We were always asked on interviews by our publicist, by the publishing house. The only thing we could think of was, oh, I don't know, maybe people see it as an excuse. And your response of, if you're looking for an excuse, you'll always find one. Excuse. Perhaps that's it with the levels. Like I can be super satisfied, and I really am at the level I'm doing summer right now. But that doesn't mean I'm complacent. I'm not thinking I'm satisfied and I have no inclination to move
Do
forward, but I
anything
can
else.
still be satisfied and yet have an awareness that I might want to push it someday. Not sure.
Right. And I think, well, if I could bring this to food, as I often do,
Yes.
like for me, I'm constantly trying to get to a new level with my diet. And I'm using that term diet very like literally what I eat,
Interesting.
you know,
Yes,
what I
yes,
eat.
yes.
So for me, it's not, I have no, to bring in the perfect concept, I have no desire to have a perfect diet. I don't know what a perfect diet is. I don't think anybody does. But I know kind of what I feel are better choices, are smart choices. And I know that I want to start to like weed out and filter junk and process.
How would you
food from my
phrase
diet.
that though? Would you ever say, I want to take my diet to the next level?
No, I wouldn't.
And what would it be?
But
What would the different phrasing be?
I don't know. But for some reason, when you said new level, I thought of my personal journey of food for some reason. Cause I think, well, when I started, it was, let me just get portions under control. Like, let's wrangle this in, let's food journal. And then the next level was, let me get some more vegetables in there. Let's start to get experimental with vegetables. And then the next level was, hey, I should really eat out a little bit less, right? And then the next level
And you make
was,
it sound so normal and healthy, like the whole, I don't know if you've seen the Maslow's hierarchy of
yes,
needs, and it's always spoofed now, but it doesn't feel pressurized, where keeping in the food analogy, when I see people talking about take your running to the next level, take your workouts to the next level, it to me sounds exactly like perfectionism, and made me think of, and these articles are less common now, we could always find one and link it, but just look at your food. Now read the ingredients list, look for hidden sugars. And by hidden, we mean it's not going to be called sugars. Sugars can be hidden under any of these list of names. And I thought, okay, you people are telling us not to do perfection, but you're hiding perfection with these different words. It felt exactly the same to me. And it felt like the hidden sugars. And I thought, people, don't get caught up in this. It's okay not to want the next level.
right.
I like what you said about women too, because it ties back to the dad bod. Are men better? Like, dude, I totally love this level. I know. Let's have another beer. Were they better?
And see, now you brought in the men, and I have to throw the husband under a bus.
Okay. I'll lift the bus up.
That's what I do. I feel like every week that's all I do. But he's he's the person I'm closest to, and I think in a weird way most different from. And so I can compare ourselves because I am a level seeker and he is not. And we sometimes we've had conversations about this on whether or not like life satisfaction, like how happy you are, is it related to increasing your level, all the time, achieving more, getting better, doing whatever? And for me, it is.
And how are you defining that in that moment? Not money, it doesn't sound like.
Well, I think, and that's what I think everyone kind of defines it themselves. Like for me, it's just this kind of constant bettering of myself, trying to eat a little bit better, trying to, I don't know, get a little bit stronger, trying to appreciate life a little bit more, like even being kind of aware and conscious to, being nicer to people.
And I think it's you've defined it. So if you were to have a blog post that said, I've taken it to the next level, that wouldn't turn me off. I think it's the telling me. That just made me realize
you don't like to be told anything.
Yes, it's that. Take it to the next level. I'm like, screw you, love this level. I'm never
fine where I am. Thank you very much.
But I would never hear you say that and feel like you were telling me I'm perfect at all.
And maybe that's what we need to talk about. Maybe actually, you just brought something back about my blog, that some interactions I've been having recently and some feedback I've gotten. And maybe the thing with the level is, if you're your own impetus, driving force of the levels,
yes,
there's a sense of satisfaction there. But being told that you need to go to the next level is really condescending in a way. Like if someone came to me at the gym, and
great
said,
point.
Yeah, you should really take it to the next level and heavier weights. I'd be like, screw you, I'm doing the best I can right here, buddy.
Yes,
but if I internally go, I could have worked a little bit harder this week, and I could have, you know what I mean? Then there's a little bit of self-motivation there. So,
and that really does go back to the book. Like there's no perfection, but when we're honest with ourselves, we know when we can do more.
yes. Yes. And then I think you need to know for yourself personally whether or not you have the desire to, like, I think some people
Yes.
don't have that. Like, again, like wanting to use that husband in that example.
Yes, go.
He really doesn't need to achieve anything. He doesn't have that drive. There's no, he's got a good job. He's got a family and a house and a car. And what else do I need in life? I feel great.
So this is his highest level and he's happy. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas I'm kind of like we're just different. And see, I'm really, as I get older, I'm really kind of grasping this concept that you can't impart what drives you to someone else. Everyone has different priorities, right? So, and for a long time, I think in some relationships, friends, really, even marriages or whatever, there's this like, you assume that your partner or your friend or your spouse has the same driving forces that you do. And I think once you realize that you're not being driven by the same, I don't know, burning desires for things, then you can kind of accept the other person for what they are. And so for me, it takes a lot because I am that kind. I've blogged about this in the past. Like I am that kind of person that wants to do better, do more, figure out a way I can help others, figure out a way. That's just who I am. I just like it. And being surrounded by people who aren't like that, sometimes it's abrasive, you know, because
it's got to be hard not to get, and I hadn't thought of it like this, judgy. Because it's so hard to understand, because I'm sure people look at me and think, really, you're happy at that level? Because your level kind of sucks. It's a little sad sack. And so it's that, no, but I'm good here.
I agree.
Because,
Oh, now that you say that, because I do struggle with that with him.
Everybody does.
I do, because I'm like, what don't you want to do? Don't you want it? I can't understand. And I have a friend, I'm really good friends with her still, who lives in the town I grew up in. And I remember thinking she hadn't really no desire to like go to college and go move away and get a job. And she still lives like next door to her mom, and she has raising her kids and she has a good job. And I always thought I really couldn't comprehend. And it wasn't judgy. I just was
no, because it wasn't a fit for you. Sometimes it's hard to imagine that when something's a fit for someone else. And maybe that's it with the levels. You're right. Because I think I was operating under the assumption, and what prompted my Facebook rant, that people were coming from a place not necessarily of condescension, but judgment, when you need to take your workout to the next level. You need to take your clean eating to the next level. But it really might be just wow, I'm here. I love this level. Come on up. You love it too.
And I think, and when it's done with and also if you accept, like her and I, we're still friends. There's no hard feelings. We just have different life goals. You know what I mean? In a weird way, this was probably last year, someone sent me a question, an email that I answered on the blog. And it was, this woman was getting feedback. She started CrossFit. She was working out lots, and everyone's like, you have to go paleo. You're not taking advantage of your CrossFit or something. It was something like, if you do this, you have to do that kind of thing. And you're wasting all this workout out by not having this perfect diet, right? Or whatever. I can't phrase it the way she phrased it. I wish I kind of looked it up but anyway, I responded to her and I was like, that's kind of bull crap. Because if you're enjoying what you're doing, and everyone has different goals and different driving factors. If your goal is to like maybe mold some perfect body and do this, whatever, and then maybe, yes, you have to bring your diet to that next level. So you're like, but if your goal is like, hey, I want to get stronger, I want to be healthy, I want to be around, my kids are older, I want to be able to climb a mountain when I'm 60.
Yes.
I don't need that level. I don't need that like perfection level of my diet must be perfect to match my perfect workout routine, to match my perfect body that I'm sporting. And I think
that's,
so that in that sense, I totally agree with you that it's kind of like, it's a little condescending, and it's because when I was angry when she sent that email, like for her, I was angry because I was like, if someone came up to me and they said, well, you're wasting all that working out you're doing by not eating paleo, I'd be like, screw you, buddy. Like I work my butt off at the gym and I eat the best I can. And that's the level I'm at. So in that sense, I'm right there with you.
Yes. And it really was that for me. I started thinking, because I'm so health and fitness all the time in my brain, that I thought, back to the sugar thing, is this like an evil little way perfection is sneaking into our lives and we don't recognize it yet? So we're kind of allowing it in. And so I thought, no, it's okay to be happy at the level you are. I'm happy at the level I am. And quite frankly, so many days I'm barely maintaining this level. So I'm good with it. It's okay not. I become George Costanza. I seriously felt like that. Like, I like this level. It's good.
I would argue too that acceptance of the level that you're on in whatever
huge step
aspect that you want to put it in, diet, exercise, life, career, whatever, is really the only way you can get to the next level.
Thank you. Because all of a sudden you realize I'm sparked. And this kind of ties in with my wycwycer of the week. And I've noticed that I love how supportive the community is online. And there's never been, with the wycwyc hashtag or within the community, any sense of, you're doing so great, you should take it to the next level. Right. And my person that I picked, I love her, Kyra. I'm going to say it wrong. Kyratx. I know her online, and I know still thinking I'm saying it wrong. But I love how this was Instagram, and she has a lovely picture, and we can share it or not share it. But she said, I didn't give in to the chocolate monster. I made date cocoa truffles instead and stayed on plan, wycwyc. And I thought, with the backdrop of all this, you know what? That's kind of it's a huge step, because she didn't give in to the chocolate monster. And yet I could see all the level people saying, oh, but dude, if you took it to the next level, you wouldn't have anything sweet at all, just a big glass of water and some ice cubes. And I thought, nope, she took it to the next level with the swap, and that was fantastic.
That level is so important, because that's how she'll get to that next level.
Yes,
if she wants to go there.
If she wants to. And if the swap is where she stops, which is where I would stop, that is fantastic too, because it's progress. It's not perfection. And for me, I can't put words in her mouth, it's something I could do for the long haul. That next level, I think of it like cardio. And this is my last excitement. On the elliptical, I may bump it up to the next level, but I'm there for 60 seconds and I'm bumping back down. When I bump it up to the next level, I want to be, because I've worked my way there. Like you said,
right.
I've now built up the stamina and I can do it, and I stay at that level and it becomes my level.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. By doing that level, like,
I'm excited.
And then, well, gosh, is it one of those things that's like so perfect that it matches our book? Is you have to accept that level, right? And when you make those small little baby steps, like they can swap or whatever, and then you pat yourself on the back for doing that level and being that level, then achieving the next level, which would be maybe not having it at all or whatever, becomes possible. So it's like you're uncovering these layers. And so, but no one wants to be told they have to. No one wants to be told they're not moving fast enough through the levels. No one wants to be told. It's like you have to carve that path. And that's really what's happened to me with my diet. I just celebrated last week on the blog about my more real food. I've been eating more and more real food. And I have a blog post I wrote probably about 3 years ago now called Bags of Kale and Tubs of Greek Yogurt Don't Lie. And the whole point of that post was to show people that when I started my first level, I hated yogurt growing up. Did I ever confess that?
Yes.
I hated yogurt. My brother used to eat it and I found it disgusting. I was like, who eats it? It's tart and weird and gross and blah. And my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, it's alive because it's probiotics.
Oh, yes.
So I think when I was like 8, I was like, I don't want to eat anything alive. Like, ew, it's gross. And so I grew up with this like horrible view of yogurt, thinking it was like the worst thing ever. And then when I was pregnant with Ryan, for some reason I had a craving for yogurt. I didn't even really know what it tasted like, but I think something was just like, oh, you should buy some yogurt. And so I started buying yogurt cups, like, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. It's sweet and it's yummy and strawberry flavor. They have chocolate yogurt. This is like dessert.
Oh my gosh, I remember going through that phase too with a coffee flavored yogurt and
then like as year or so goes by and I'm like getting more and more into what I'm eating and what I'm putting in my body and being conscious about it. I'm reading the ingredients and I'm like, holy heck, that's a lot of sugar. I didn't realize I was eating that
yes.
much sugar. And then I shifted and I was going through Weight Watchers. So I was counting points and I was like, well, if I have these light ones, well, they're less points and they taste just as good. And I'll just have Yoplait light, So then I started eating the light ones. And then I'm like, but then the next level was, I really don't want to put all these artificial sweeteners in my body. Gosh knows what they are. I don't know. And then, so I kept again, more and more levels. And then I thought, I could buy bigger tubs of yogurt and put honey on it. Oh, that's even better. And then the next level was, wait, Greek yogurt has more protein, And so it's kind of like this journey I had. And the point of the post was to basically show to people, you can't fault someone for making the first step, which was, maybe getting the tub of yogurt or getting or choosing yogurt over a cookie or choosing yogurt, even though let's say someone who wants to lose weight and they're trying to change their food habits. And every day after lunch, they eat a brownie the size of their head. That was the example I used, for whatever reason, this is their habit, and they want to make a change. And they go, you know what, instead, I'm going to get a chocolate yogurt cup.
And even if it's the same amount of sugar, there's that mental shift to a different level.
That was my point. Exactly. Yes. So even if it's the same amount of sugar, same amount of calories, there's progress there. There's a change. And then you don't know where that's going to, and again, we're using the level concept. You don't know what's the next level for that person. But that's that's the drive. That drive to make a better choice is what I think we need to celebrate. That to me really captures kind of what wycwyc is all about. When you do wycwyc and you say, I really want that brownie I have every day, but today I'm going to do some chocolate yogurt. That is the biggest wycwyc move ever. And it seems so small.
And it seems like a parallel thing. Yes, and it is, you're right, because nowhere in these posts, and this is just me focusing too much on the minutia, but it never starts off with, I bet your resistance training program is freaking awesome right now. I bet you look great. You enjoy doing it. Here are some thoughts. Maybe there's no acknowledgement like they say in teaching, which we've both done.
You suck right now. You eat a brownie every day. You should stop eating that brownie every day.
Take it to the next level. Who was the trainer? Wasn't there some trainer who was renowned? I don't know who it was for screaming at everybody, but that's how it feels to me. When I see the next level, it makes me cling to my current level and say, I'm barely doing this.
Yes.
Move along.
And I really think if we teach people to celebrate those minor, and this is the thing though, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. Those minor self-driven level increases. Yeah. Those are the ones that lead to the most change. Like for me, and I only use myself as an example, which is, I know myself the best. All I know is my diet 10 years ago and my diet today are like night and day. What I eat, how much of it that I eat. And it's not work now. If 10 years ago, Ronnie would look at today, Ronnie's food journal, she would be like, who the hell are you? And what are you eating? I
can't do this.
I can't do this. It's too hard. I never would. And it's funny because I'll get comments like that because I post my food journals and people are like, I'd never be able to eat that way. I'd never be. And I thought I would say the same thing.
Because it doesn't.
Over 10 years, this is the great. And I always use, it's a gradient. It's totally a gradient that happens slowly over time. If you're self-driven to constantly push your level just a little bit. But yeah, you're right. Nobody else can tell you to do it.
No, and it's what you say with the book, and my millionth time saying it this episode, but just if you want an excuse, you'll find it. Otherwise, when we trust ourselves, we inch up the levels anyway. We don't need someone to yell at us. It's
totally true. Yes, it's totally true. But it has to come. I mean, if we want to bring it kind of full circle, though, it also, has to come from you. So like, again, the husband thing, his desire to change his diet really isn't there yet. It's kind of just starting to peer its little head, which is kind of exciting for me.
But sometimes really, not slipping back levels is a huge victory.
Right. And so like, he's not driven by it yet. It's kind of like if somebody someone's not going to quit smoking unless they want to quit smoking. And I would argue that the first level of quitting smoking is wanting to quit smoking.
Well, how's the soda thing going for him?
Oh, fabulous. That's a great, I'm so
And
glad.
that's just not going back to the level. Because for me, if he stayed there for the rest of his life at that level, that is awesome. Not going back to that level. Because I've been there, done that, where I've gone years without having a soda. And then I've gone back to that level of having a Diet
I'm
Coke.
so glad you brought that up because that's actually really good. So yes, if those of listeners who might not have heard, I don't even know what episode that was, like probably 3 or 4, where we talked about the husband and he has a soda habit. And I mean, this man used to drink like a 2-liter bottle of soda a day easily by himself, full sugar, no diet stuff. And slowly, and I think having kids kind of helped because I don't let the kids drink soda. And then even Ryan's like, why are you drinking soda? It's bad for you, daddy. You know, and so he wanted to change. Then he moved to Mio's. And now he's abandoned the Mio's. He's actually phased them out pretty much.
Yeah. Why do they make me crazy? I don't know why.
They make me crazy too. I don't even want to talk about it. It's definitely something I have very strong opinions on that.
I don't know for some reason.
But he's moved to, get this, lemonade. Which
He needs
I
a
think
soda stream like I do. Would he like that with no flavors?
I actually said that, but I'm kind of happy.
The bubbles are so good.
I don't want another. I don't want another device in my kitchen.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's how much I love it. That it's worth having the device.
Yeah, I'd rather have like we have a Keurig that we never use. I'm anti-device, but I think he's over the bubbles because I think the Mio was no bubble, you know. And now, but we went to the grocery store for the lemonade, and he was reading the ingredient list. And he's like, "Oh, look, this one only has sugar, lemon juice, and water." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with that one." And so
I like that with the sugar too, because it's like it's sugar, but it's sugar.
Who cares? It's sugar. I mean, sugar's nice, it's fine. But I was kind of proud of him for kind of looking, and I was like, yeah. So the fact that he, over the course of the last year, 2 years, whatever, has went from full sugar soda to basically natural lemonade, which was just sugar, water, and lemon juice, I think is a huge improvement in my opinion.
Yes. And that is the next level. And it comes back to the definition of, if you were standing over him screaming, take it to the next level, you might have imagined a higher level. It might have been a bigger change. And because he defined it and he did it, I am so in awe of the fact he's given up the Diet Coke or the soda. I am back on the Diet Coke pony, and I'm doing one a day. But I was
gonna say no. He hasn't given it up 100%. It's his. So when someone drinks, in my mind, all he drank was soda. There was no water. There's no tea. There's just soda. He's gone to just soda with his lunch. He still does have soda.
Great. Yes.
But it's not. I think for me as somebody, I'm bad. I'm so bad because I do kind of harp on him a little bit. I'm like, just drink water. What's wrong with water? Just drink the water.
For me, I would think the thought, and this is very sad and depressing, but I own it. The thought of never, I'm not a binger, but if you told me I could never have Diet Coke again, it would be all I would think about.
No, I agree. And that's what I mean. I think going from 2-liter bottle to 12 ounces a day, supplemented by lemonade, and he drinks more water than he ever has. So yeah, he's increased his water consumption, decreased his soda consumption, and then found a suitable swap, which is like the definition of wycwyc.
And I think that is the next level. And I think that's my struggle. Did you have a wycwycker of the week that?
I do have a wycwycker of the week, which
I didn't know if you found someone that paralleled with that, but I would now want to pick Bill as mine because that's huge. That is the next level. And for me, that I'm done. Sometimes taking it to the next level is not going back. Is not his saying, you know what, I'm over it. No lemonade, no water.
I'm just gonna drink soda all day, every day. Yes.
That not going backwards, meta, can be taking it to the next level. So go, Bill.
No, I agree. And I am so happy that I don't have huge 2-liter bottles of soda in my refrigerator anymore. And I do think we'll never go back to that because we're past that. He's past that point. And yeah, but you're right. Yes, I agree.
It feels really bad. It feels really bad. If I started drinking when I have 2 a day, I feel bad about myself.
No guilt.
Because it's not what I want to do. Yes. You're right. But then I think I quite technically do feel bad because it dehydrates me.
That's a whole podcast in and of itself. Why we do things that we don't want to do, but do anyway, and then feel guilty about. What is that? Why do we do that?
I know. And for me, it's the physical because I wake up dehydrated. I had a really rough few days and I had 2 Diet Cokes yesterday. I woke up this morning so thirsty. But anyways,
Sometimes I have to say, sometimes I'm so lazy. Like I just don't literally want to fill up a glass of water. Like I'm not
I
just
need
like,
a Camelback. If I had a Camelback filled with just sparkling water, I would never drink soda.
well, see, you just have to see,
Somebody invent
you have
that.
to set your environment. Like you have
You're
to do
right.
that like the night before, fill it up, or the morning of. That's kind of like how I did the running in the morning. It was like I had to put my clothes out
You're
or it would
right.
never happen. Yeah.
I mean, I am worth it. I'm going to, and then I will
Oh, see.
finally let you get to your
My
quicker.
wicker of the week.
I am worth it buying. Mine is broken. It was behind me. I'm going to get a new Soda Stream. I'm worth it. And I'm going to buy a bunch of bottles and I'm going to set myself up for success because I'll save money in healthcare in the long run.
I have a new Chug-a-Lug water. So if you remember a few episodes ago, I was reusing the one from the movie theater, like the 85-ounce large, whatever. I went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day. I did not get donuts, I will say, but it was my son's birthday and I surprised him with donuts for his 10th birthday in the morning.
Terrifying.
I know. I don't really want to talk about it. He's double digits. It's been on my mind. Anyway, I get the thing when I go to Dunkin' Donuts for other people, I always get a large unsweetened tea because I'm a big tea girl. And that's what this was in. And now I've been using it for days, refilling it up. And I actually made my own iced tea. And so now I have a new Chug-a-Lug. That's what I'm calling it.
Can I say this now? Because this is going to open up a whole other can of worms, but I'm going to say it. As I want to wave my hands around, if you're watching the video, I love my hands.
I know. I saw your little fingers.
I want to be henna tattooed head to toe forever. But I love to see you because this is another next level thing. When you held up your cup, what is that made out of?
Plastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm still using plastic. I want to be using all glass. I have not taken it to the all glass level. And that was another thing that was in my sphere this morning before we recorded is people are like, take your kitchen to the next level, get rid of all the plastic. And I think, yes, in the kitchen, but I do have those cups, like you said. And
yeah, I do. I use plastic every day. I'm not going to lie. I think that's one of those things where it's not even on my level it's not even on my radar for a level yet. It will be. Like I have I know
and that's okay.
I have
That's
so many
the
other
crux.
priorities. A few years ago, I'd say, gosh, almost 7 years ago, I used to use paper plates at home. My mom used paper plates. I use paper plates. I just adopted this paper plate habit.
All the time?
All the time. Not all the time, but we always have a stack of paper plates. And then I would grab those sometimes, like instead of a cutting board or like for a snack. Yes. And and so they would appear in my photographs because I don't do one of those things that food bloggers do, which is like set a stage and do table scape, whatever. I eat on this plate. I take a picture on this plate. It's very wycwyc. And someone kind of bashed me on my food blog.
Honestly, I think I remember that because I was in the same place of using paper plates then too.
And it was a long time ago. Remember, it was like 7 years ago. Yeah. And she's like, I love your site. I love your recipes. I think you're great. But what's the deal with the paper plates? Don't you know that? And she like berated me about paper plates. And my response was really simple. And I was like, I'm working on it. It's a habit. Yes. It's something that I do. It's something that my mom did. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just where it's the level I happen to be at.
Well, I love that you owned it because when I get defensive, like we've talked about, it's an indication of I'm not okay with it. I would own it too with the paper plates back then. Sorry.
Yes. Well, it's funny because, and I thanked her because I was like, you know what? Thanks for
nothing.
Think about it. Well, yeah, that too. But since then, I have slowly phased all paper plates out. I rarely use them. The only time I would ever buy a stack of paper plates is if I'm having a party because I only have 8 plates and I don't have enough plates for people to use when they come to eat at my house.
Isn't it funny to think about? It goes back to Bill and the soda, like going back to that old level. I'm the same way. I would no more go to the grocery and buy a big thing like I used to 7 years ago or so, big thing of paper plates. Granted, the child was 2, everything was different. But I would no more go back to that level. But if you had told me to take it up to the next level, I would have probably stayed at that level forever.
No, it's true. I cannot imagine myself buying those really flimsy white generic paper plates, I used to
do that all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which was a regular shopping trip item for me. And now I have a stack of like thicker, whatever paper plates, like party plates that have been in there that I bought one stack probably a year ago, and I'll use them when we have people over and I ran out of plates, and it's kind of like my back, but I never grab them day to day anymore. But that was, so it's like a different level, but that was a total sidebar. We probably should.
No, I find that it does all really tie in because you found your way there. And I find it really interesting. And I would love to talk about this on a different podcast because it falls under the umbrella of perfection. I do notice that with food bloggers. I have a friend who's a food stylist, and I think that would make me not want a food blog. And I love how you authentically still capture your recipes. You don't have the...
I shall let you behind the curtain. When I take photographs for Greenlight Bites, I literally take the plate of food and I put it on the floor in front of my sliding door and I take a picture.
I love that because it makes it so much more accessible. I mean, I admire when I see other people's and they get, a bazillion likes on Instagram because they're so beautiful.
Yes.
But I think I wouldn't do my food anyway, but I would definitely not start now because they couldn't be that beautiful.
Well, and I think that's like we talked last week about the guy with his landscaping. Like that's what they're into. Like I get it. That's what they're into.
Yeah, yes.
And their goals are different.
Are they? Now I want to have guests on. Are they really into their cashew chicken
or do they
salad?
see it as a chore and they're like, Greta,
yes.
I gotta put this up again.
Because I see so many outtakes where people lament. Like, I was setting this up and I spilled the chocolate everywhere and I was so frustrated and I just wanted to throw it all in the trash.
I would hope that they're
into in my
it.
head. Yeah, you're right. I would hope they're into it too.
I feel like it's a disservice. And the way that I look at blogging is, to me, the power in it is that we're not polished, that we're not edited, that you could go to Food Network or buy some fancy food blogger book or whatever, and you can get that polished look. But in my opinion, what attracts me to blogging is the idea that I can kind of go, look, I'm just another person in the world and I want to share this recipe with you, and I'm going to take a picture of it with my kid in the background because that's real. That's what's happening right now. I can't, I used to do the videos a lot more, and I'm hoping to get back into them again, where I did the cooking videos with my kids. And to me, I always saw them as I want to inspire people to cook more with their kids because I think it's really, really important.
And they love it.
And I also want to show. I mean, this was again 6-7 years ago when I started Greenlight Bites. I'm like, I'm working full time. I'm coming home. I got to make dinner, and I literally would throw on the camera and just cook with my 3-year-old. Ryan was 3 at the time, and we would just cook. And I wanted it to be messy. I wanted it to be just is, we spilled the flour. I had to yell at him. He kept being annoying and people didn't get it. It's like some people didn't get it. I would get a lot of comments. I actually shut comments off before I put my big girl panties on. I shut comments off because people would be like, your son's so annoying. And I would really like your videos if your kids weren't in them. And I'm like, no, you're missing the point. You're not my audience. My audience is the mom who needs to see this so that she feels more normalized, so that she brings her kid in the kitchen. And even though it's messy and she has to yell at them and they're making it, you know what I mean? And it's frustrating, that it's worth it. And so to me, that's what I always saw that was the service I felt I was providing. And maybe I'm a little being ego here, but that's.
No, and it's being comfortable with what you're showing. I did a guest post about wycwyc on somebody else's blog recently, Mark and Angel, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, got a big one yesterday, how, oh my goodness, Carla, I loved that post. I loved your writing over there. And I thought, yeah, that's not my voice. It was really fun to do. I loved writing like that. I took it to a different level. It was very serious.
You took it to a different level, really?
And I didn't like the level. No, but I was thinking just that.
And you were felt forced
longer, and I had to edit it. And so I was up at that different level for about a day. And then I was thrilled to get back down to this level. And I was really proud of myself yesterday when I thought it didn't make me insecure. I didn't think for a minute, oh, should I do that level every day? Because I realized that level was a stretch for me. I did not enjoy it. It did not feel authentic. Whether people love the post and that felt great, but I didn't like that level. It's not my comfort level. I'm coming back down to this one where there are grammatical errors and commas.
You know what? You're right. And it's funny. I feel that's interesting. I've recently have rediscovered my zest for blogging because I brought it back down to the level in which I started and enjoyed. And I thought I went away from this really because I thought, I'll never make it. People don't like it. And I'm trying to make everybody else happy. I was comparing myself to other bloggers. Yes. And then I finally went, no, this is not what I want. What I used to get out of blogging was posting. I like to, because me in the food journals, it's very important to me. It's something that I enjoy doing. Sometimes I kind of take a break from it, but overall I just like it. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, actually, if I think about it logically. But I like that end of the day. This is something that I thought about today, and let me just share it. And whatever it might be. And that's kind of how I started blogging. I mean, used to do it once a week when I really, really started, but it slowly became, or actually quickly became daily because I was getting so much out of it. But then I think I struggled. And if you read my archives, you could probably even see that journey where I was struggling, where I was trying to figure out who I was on the blog and what I could do. I didn't know what direction to go in. And I knew I was changing, but then I thought my audience wouldn't like the changes.
Yes.
But then I did have this really revelation kind of, I don't know, a few months ago where I was like, this is me now. I CrossFit. I eat this way. I live this way. And I want my outlet back, where at the end of the day, I go, oh, guys, what a great day. Or guys, shitty day today. And
if you have a sponsored post, is how I viewed the Market Angel thing. I was so thrilled to be invited, but I knew when I wasn't invited for me to invite myself and then for them to say yes. I actually had these feelings. It was a post about fear and I was excited to share, but I knew what I wanted to share was their level, in that sense of very intense writing and serious. And I don't want to stay at that level. That level would be super exhausting for me and too tiring. And I like this level. So now you can do your wycwyc of the week. But we can jump it up to the next level. Think of it like an elliptical, but I don't want to stay there. I'll visit you for 60 seconds and I'm going back down to the level where I can watch Parenthood on my iPad.
Right.
Comfortably.
Well, and I think the moral of our level, what would we call this discussion?
Podcast 22.
Babbling, our level babbling is really, it comes down to you and you define the level. Don't let anybody influence this. Don't compare yourself to people at other levels or even at your same level, and just be conscious about kind of what motivates you and making small changes. If you want to get better, then kind of celebrate every little incremental level shift, even if it means staying at the same level for a long time. I think
that's a victory, man. Just not going back to the old levels. Huge victory. Okay. Don't feel bad if you went back to the old levels.
No guilt. Just ignore everything we said in this entire podcast and keep doing what you're doing. Crack
open a Diet Coke. You're fine. Save one from the 6-pack for me.
So funny. Yes. I love how we say everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yes. So much for the terse
podcast today. I knew this would happen. I told you. I warned you. I said, once we start talking about this level thing, we're just going to go and it's not going to be pretty.
I hope somebody writes a response blog post or tweet or something, because I really am dying with this one to know, has anybody ever thought about this? And do you agree or disagree? We really do want to know.
Yes. Or are we classic overanalyzing and making mountains out of molehills again?
Just don't launch a competing podcast and call it the next level.
I'm sure there is already a okay. My wycwyc of the week, and then we will call this a day. Okay, so my wycwyc of the week, and it's actually kind of a wycwyc conversation that happened that I butted into today.
Oh, was it this morning? Oh, good.
Yes. Well, it's not this morning. It was last morning, because whatever.
It was a long time ago.
It was a couple days ago. Yes. So Erica Sarah and her.
I love her. Have you seen her stuff?
No. Now I have to now I'm following her and I got to do
Erica Sarah Design. She made me a bracelet.
Oh, no.
She is unbelievable and super famous. Erica is super famous. She won't admit it, but she is.
I had no idea.
New baby, rocking everything.
So I will dig deeper into her. Now I'm following her on Twitter, which is great. But so for those of you who want to follow her Twitter address is at Erica Sarah. It's ERICASARA. And she tweeted out to you, because we don't know each other. Like I said, I wasn't following her. She said, madly in love with Carla Bernberg's wycwyc philosophy. Emma and I had a dance party yesterday as our cardio too. And because I like to talk and butt myself into conversations, butted in and kind of was like, this is awesome. I can't find my own tweet right now, which is really funny. I said, dude, that's awesome. Sorry to butt in, but you just made me smile. And then she replied, and we had a couple other people reply, but
yes, I like that too. Run Far Girl, I think was one of them.
Yes, Run
Is that
Far
right?
Girl.
Okay.
But my reason why I picked her for the wycwyc was because of this statement, and I love it. I wanted to put it on a Facebook page, but I just got distracted. And her statement was, once I surrendered to wycwyc, I was able to enjoy this crazy trip so much more. And I thought, yes, what an awesome way of putting it, surrendering to this kind of mentality of doing what I can when I can is enough. I am worthy. I make these small changes and things just are. I don't know. I just really.
Oh, I love that too.
Yeah.
And she said she would blog about it when she has time, and I really hope she does.
Yes, because we will share. If she blogs about it before we publish this, we shall link. If not, we shall link later on Facebook.
But I really love that too. And it's the surrender to the level you're at currently.
Yes, because I think we so much, I mean, I don't know, as someone who does put kind of this self-induced pressure on herself all the time, and I think I know a lot of women do, when you do kind of surrender it, and I think it's not something you can't just decide, today I'm going to surrender to the wycwyc.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
I think it takes work. It's kind of like last week how we talked about optimism is a muscle. I think this is
letting go is a muscle.
Letting go is a muscle. And I think it's something that you consciously work on.
Yeah.
Yes. Whether or not it's a level could be another discussion for another day.
I loved her tweet too. This was really fun. You gave me some interesting insights because I hadn't viewed it in that way before. Yeah, it was fun.
Or yes, I just muddied the waters and now no one knows what the heck we said for this last 45 minutes.
Oh, or now we're sparking a whole revolution against for.
Yes.
It's all about the levels.
It's all about the levels. All right, guys, we're going to sign off for today. Thanks for listening.
Wycwyc.
Wycwyc. Yay!
Oh my gosh. Now, do we want to do another one tomorrow? What's your life like? Do we want to not do another one? It really is the wycwyc.
No, if we don't do it now, we're not going to have one for July 1st, to be honest. So.
But let's just not have one for July 1st.
Yeah, but.
You don't have any time tomorrow or Friday?
No, I have time. Let's
do that. Do you want to do a quick 30 minutes tomorrow or Friday?
We could do 30 minutes now and just make it a 30-minute one. And it's article based, so it wouldn't be that long. I don't know. Are you tacked? Are you maxed out?
I fear that it won't be very good. Truly. Because we're like, I think it'd be better to wait if you have 30 minutes tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow morning.
I think it feels like it'll be more fresh because it'll be more like stuff has happened.
That's true.
I feel like it would be flat.
Our intro will not be. No, you're right.
Because we'll have something. Now, we could do it, but I feel like it'd be flat. And then I'm like, would it be worth doing? How about we just do 30 minutes on, you pick either the summer or the meditation, maybe the meditation, and you can bring it in because that's your thing. And then we just really make the timer and do only 30 minutes. So we won't need a lot of new chit chat, but I feel like now I would be flat.
Okay. Let's do tomorrow morning. I think we do summer and then just mention the meditation. I don't know if
perfect.
Because I won't be able to babble about that long enough. But the summer one, I think, like I said, I think it's because it's relevant. And I think
you're right. And that will be July 1st, right?
Exactly. And those tips are
Perfect.
they're very wycwyc-esque, and they kind of support like the walking and the hiking and all. They kind of support a lot of what we are always kind of trying to reinforce. So yes. I love that.
Let's do that.
This is like, I know we always do behind the scenes. This is the most behind the scenes we have gotten with our behind the scenes, because we generally always talk about this in email, not yes. So
I think this would be perfect.
Yes. YouTubers out there, welcome to behind the real scenes of
Oh my gosh, wait, we're still recording?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Did I say anything inappropriate? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't talk about anybody. You didn't gossip. It's all good. It's all good stuff.
Can I get naked? No. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. This is.
I know, I think because I can see the stop broadcast big red button, and I'm like, no, we're still recording.
Yeah, and it really is. You're right. I'm going to own it. That I would feel like I've got nothing going on. I've shared all my excitement. Yes. Well, let's do it tomorrow.
Perfect. All right. I will. We'll pick a time Ryan has a half day. So
Anytime, you said.
same time works. Yeah, same time works.
Perfect. Same time.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.